Hello everyone, what's up and welcome to the Afrika BBall show. It's your boy Ryan
here with Tupua, and we're here to present you all the latest topics on the BAL, the NBA. Right now the playoffs are happening, so we're going to update you on that. But also later on throughout the year or even next year, we'll focus on school tournaments and all the basketball that's playing around. Also music and culture, we'll dive deep into that. So like let's say Burna Boy is going to play in the NBA finals, or he played in the All-Star last time, so we can mention that and all the news. Ryan will update you on more.
So what is the Afrika BBall show? You know, we're just two guys who are really basketball heads, who really want to get into it and spread basketball across Africa, you know, really bring it to the forefront and provide a platform as well for underground basketball, you know, to flourish. And that's what we're doing on this show. But also, you know, we have to talk about the mainstream headlines, which we're going to get into now. We just got into the playoffs, the most exciting time of basketball. So what is the playoff picture? Well, for me, the battle of the stars. The Clippers versus the Suns.
That's
Everyone's
a big
waiting.
one right there. Clippers versus the Suns.
Everyone's waiting, you know. It's KD, Booker, CP3 going up against PG-13, Playoff P, and Kawhi Leonard.
What did you hear now? Playoff P might not be able to make it for the playoffs.
He might be injured, which is a big factor.
You know, he might be Playoff P, but he does offer the Clippers a two-way defensive thing. And without that, without two-way defensive plays, they're lacking offensively and defensively. And I don't think that's enough to stop KD. I think that's KD running through them.
We'll have to see. And then next, the defending champions, the Warriors. Can they retain the title? Can Curry get his 5th ring? That's more than LeBron.
Oh.
Can't have that for gender purposes.
But you know, with the Warriors as well, a bit of a slump season. They even just lost to the Kings. We were in the first game one.
Playoff game yesterday.
You know, I thought the Warriors were going to go through. I don't like them. I hope the Kings go through. Mike Brown has done an excellent way, the way he turned Sacramento Kings. They finished like 11th last year in the Western seed, and now they finished 3rd.
Crazy.
So it's a complete turnaround.
And then we're going to briefly touch on the much heated, much debated MVP battle. You know, you got Embiid against the Joker, against Giannis, who's actually, surprisingly, you know, he's the outlier, he's the outrunner there.
Yeah.
He's going to get close. And also we'll touch on why this is here. One of you lucky folks will be able to grab your hands on this. I'm so jealous of you guys. You know, the latest NBA 2K plus Xbox One and controller. Sheesh. We're doing the most here for you guys. Going into the playoffs, you know, we can't talk about the playoffs without getting into the play-ins. And regarding the play-ins, we'll talk about how the Heat beat the Bulls to get into there. Jimmy Buckets, 31 points.
Oh,
playoff Jimmy as usual, you know.
And you know, with the Bulls, I thought they were going to offer more, because that game that they had against the Raptors, they were down points.
This one right here, where they had a comeback.
They were down points. And Zach LaVine's second half already turns into prime Jordan. He's really rocking that Bulls jersey there for this game.
You can see down as much as 15 points there.
Yeah.
They still pulled the rabbit out the hat.
Dropped a 30+ point that game, but then against the Bulls, against the Heat, he ghosts. What's that about?
choking. And then we're going to talk about how, you know, the Wolves beat the Thunder. I think that was pretty much expected.
Yeah, I feel like OKC have done a very good job. Top 5 youngest teams in the NBA right now. Almost had a positive record with 2 games off of that. And I think that the future's bright for them, but this is the time when they just had to stop, you know.
So that was the play-ins, you know. So the Heat managed to get through, and they're the 8th seed. They're going to play the Bucks now. Worst matchup for them.
The Heat might have done very good last season, the regular season, but this time they're too small. They're one of the smallest NBA teams playing against the Bucks, with has your Giannis's, and Bucks are one of the tallest teams in the NBA actually. So it's small versus big, and I just don't see that happening in the NBA.
It's going to be too much power. So now we're here right now into the playoff picture. What it's looking like? Well, the playoffs have already started. You know, we had the first round of games last night, this morning for us African viewers, and started off with the 76ers beating the Nets. I think we kind of expected that.
Yeah, the Nets curse is real. Nets have had an abysmal time, you know. They first had KD, Harden, Kyrie. Now they have none of those 3 stars. Harden is right now in the 76ers balling out, most assists. 76ers are the first team in around like 30 to 40 years that have the top scorer and the top assist maker on the same team.
Well, yeah, that's Harden, 13 assists yesterday, 23 points. Embiid 26 points. You know, Mikal Bridges for the Nets 30 points. Put up a big fight, but you know he's a good additional player to have. You know, he can't run a team by himself, but he gives it his all. So
yeah, I agree with that.
And next we're looking at the Celtics beating the Hawks. Look, the Celtics beat the Hawks 3 times in the regular season. Washed them every game. Washed them.
I mean, going into this Atlanta Hawks and the play-ins, I mean, your Trae Young and DeJounte Murray, they look kind of good, but also at the same team, there's kind of a bit of conflict between the two stars. So one might have to be traded, and they're on such big contracts that it's even hard to get role players into there.
Trae Young, 16 points, abysmal performance. You know, there's just not enough firepower on the team at some point.
Yeah, and the Celtics team, I mean, they made the finals last year. Jason Tatum is playing really well right now.
Jaylen Brown's my pick. He's the best. He carries that team. Tatum, Tatum's a star boy, but Jaylen Brown, there's no Celtics like Jaylen Brown.
All I'm gonna say is that beginning of the season, Jason Tatum was having MVP shots.
Always does. And the next game, I think, for me, was a surprise until I saw who was back. The Knicks beat the Cavs. You know, both two teams who've made a resurgence, I would say, in the last couple of seasons.
And I thought Randall wasn't actually going to play at the start, but well, of course, he plays, he gets the Cavs, the big man the Cavs.
Donovan Mitchell doing well there. Put up 38 points. You know, he's been a bit inconsistent of late, but there he is leading his team. Unfortunately, wasn't enough. Julius Randle's back. And Jalen Brunson. The Mavs look crazy for trading him.
Jalen Brunson is a game changer for the Knicks right now.
I need him in the All-Star team.
And you know, Jalen Brunson is also such a good defensive asset. And that is what the Mavs are struggling with right now. You know, they got Luka and Kyrie and everyone's like, oh, but you know, Luka and Kyrie are such great offensive players, but they also lack defense. I mean, you can blame them that their defense isn't good because they are part of the problem. But we knew that going in when Luka and Kyrie came. But now there's no surrounding defensive players with them. Interior defense, they get smashed. Perimeter defense, they get smashed. So it's not looking good for the Mavericks right now.
The Mavs, well, they just got fined $750,000 for benching their teams. They think they're tanking now.
Yeah.
To try to get a better draft.
Because Luka only played one quarter when the games mattered the most.
You see what I mean? And to the biggest game of the playoffs now, the one that I'm so excited to tell you guys about. The Sacramento Kings beating the Warriors.
The Kings right now, I really like that team. I like their style of play. I think Darren Fox, after a disappointing season last season, he's really coming into his own. I mean, he had Tyrese Halliburton, who's the second most in assists, but he got traded to the Pacers because with those two in the same team, it just wasn't working out with them. But when they got Sabonis, I've never seen a big like that. Oh my God, he has transformed that team. From 11th seed to the 3rd seed, that is amazing.
Playoffs for the first time since, what, 2002?
Yeah, something around there.
We won in 2002.
No! I haven't seen the Kings make the playoffs.
Crazy. Well, Darren Fox, they had 38 points, you know, against the Warriors. Listen, the Warriors and the Kings were the two highest scoring teams in the regular season. And that shows it was the highest scoring game in the playoffs. So we're in for a great series, and my hope is, you know, the Kings do it as quickly as possible because
I know the Warriors, you know, they're like the Real Madrid in the football.
Yeah.
They're top dogs. They're always winning it around there. But I really hope that the Kings make it through. I don't want to see Warriors even get close to the final.
And the thing about the Warriors, guys, is, you know, during the regular season, I don't know what witchcraft it is or what they do, but everyone's always injured, and then the playoffs, a fully fit Warriors team. Wiggins back now.
Where did he come from? Yeah.
Everyone was back, fully fledged. So it's interesting, but yeah, I'm happy the Kings won that one. So yeah. Oh, fun fact about the Kings vs Warriors: since the Kings won such a long hiatus, their ticket pricing for Game 1 is 2 times more than the Warriors' ticket pricing for Game 7. That's how in demand, how starved, you know, the people of Sacramento have been. But you know, kudos to them. What they're doing is fantastic, and really hope that.
And have you seen the beam at Sacramento?
Like the beam,
like the beam. Every time they win at their home stadium, they have a beam around there that they just light up to the sky,
like the Batman logo they put up in the sky. So yeah, we're hoping the beams let through the whole playoffs.
Yes.
Now going into, you know, the NBA just released the shortlist of most of the awards. We're going to touch them briefly because they like to delay the awards until late June, and you know, these are regular season awards, right?
Yeah.
But I've got a weird feeling that the way they delay it, why not give the awards right off the regular season? They delay it because the playoffs, although they don't matter, always changes the narrative at some point, you know, always.
Yeah.
So, Embiid, for me, he's the one who's going to get MVP. I'm hoping he does. Joker, yes.
You know what?
The stat nerds, underlying numbers, this and that, you know.
Controversial opinion here, you know.
Oh.
I love my Embiid.
Uh-oh.
But I think Jokic in every advanced metric,
wow.
he's calling me a nerd.
You see.
But besides your points, Jokic, besides 2 categories, leads all in efficiency with them. He's led his team first to the West again, and I think he's just a great guy. Like, he's good. He lacks a bit of defense, but I think a big should not be doing what he's doing. He is dropping his stat line is right now one of the best the NBA has ever seen. No one in the NBA has recorded what he has right now. So I think that's the
these guys watch basketball with Excel spreadsheets right there and there. Don't listen to them. Use your eyes. My most important eye test. Eye test. Watch the games. Don't look at the box score and the stats. Watch the game with your eyes. Embiid dominates every game he plays. Always on the forefront, leading the line. Shoots threes now. Averaging 33 points on 54% shooting. Just under 55% shooting. For big, and he's just done going in the paint. You know, he does it from the outside, mid-range. He's there. 10 rebounds, 1.7 blocks.
But with the Nuggets, right? Nuggets aren't really known as the successor team. But with Jokic right now, we are actually believing that in a stacked West, they can make it to the finals. And I think that's crazy because Embiid in the playoffs,
You think the Nuggets can make it to the final?
I think it's very possible.
I don't think that.
I think they have literally one of the best shooters in the NBA. As a shooting team, they have one of the best percentages. And Jokic is the one that develops that because he's also an assistant and a passer. He's one of the best playmakers, and he's a center. Tell me when you guys have ever seen that. He probably won't win MVP because he won back-to-back, and I think winning MVP 3 times, voters' fatigue comes into play. But I think Jokic just got it. I think Jokic is my MVP for this season.
I love how we're just brushing off 2-time MVP Giannis. He's not even in the conversation. He's also averaging something crazy like 30, 10 rebounds, whatever. But
it's funny. Embiid, Jokic, and Giannis are all averaging stat lines that have never been done in the NBA before.
It's crazy. My thing is Embiid really pushed recently. I mean, just in the last week on the 4th of April against the Celtics, 52 points. Against the Celtics, 13 rebounds.
You know, I may be a Jokic
He averaged
fan.
36 points and over 60+% shooting in March. Over 10 games back.
I may be a Jokic fan, but I have to respect.
And when the two matched up, oh, we don't want to go there. It was a brutal what Embiid did to
But
each
Embiid
other.
wasn't there for the latest one. He wasn't there for that
See.
one. But also, I feel like with now the playoffs, I feel like Jokic, Embiid, and Tatum are 3 players that really have to prove themselves. After Tatum had a disappointing finals run last time, and you know Jokic, as he is back-to-back MVP, he needs something to show.
In the playoffs, he's no way.
Well,
Gentleman sweep
Wait,
against
wait,
the Warriors.
And then with Embiid, I think this is Embiid's real time if he gets that finals. Because after what happened with Kawhi and the Raptors, that final bucket in Game 7, this is Embiid's time to really show something.
I agree with you there. So movie something, you know, for the playoffs, but still basketball related. A movie that recently came out.
It's about MJ, my goat.
I don't get that.
Controversial.
LeBron fans, look away. Don't listen to this guy. But yeah, a new movie came out called Air. It's focused on Michael Jordan. You know how Nike went after him as this young prospect and signed him up, and how the Air Jordan was made. You know, and this movie, I didn't hear much about it before. Marketing wasn't good, but I heard that it was actually supposed to be an Amazon release, but they released it into theaters, so that's why.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's starring Matt Damon,
Ben Affleck, yeah.
Marlon Wayne's there, Chris Tucker's there. And fun fact,
That's a crazy
Michael
lineup.
Jordan isn't actually in the movie, but you know the producer sat down with him and he said, "Yeah, this movie's fine, but I want one thing. Viola Davis needs to play my mother in the movie." So she's in there. And yeah, if anyone had to play our mother, yeah, I think we'll choose Viola Davis. So definitely this movie is something to look forward to, and I don't want to spoil it for you, I think you should go out there and watch it. But a fun fact that, so when, because MJ was an Adidas fan.
Yeah, I know that. And Adidas and Converse were the two ones that he actually wanted to go to.
So when Nike go up to him and they offered him, I think, $250,000, which obviously back then was an insane amount of money off an unproven player.
Yeah.
He agreed, you know, to the terms. He's like, okay. And Adidas matched the offer and offered him a Mercedes-Benz as well. Sure. And that's when they went to Jordan, and he was like, okay, all I want a percentage of every Jordan shoe that's being sold. And now he's a billionaire. The rest is history, you know.
Yeah, and I hope that even Nike had to go to his mother to try and convince him to
like, you know. And let me bring you on to why this is here now. Our shout out to Sprite. You know, they're coming up with a new flavor, quite tasty. Thank you, Sprite. And they're giving away, in partnership with us, a brand new Xbox with the brand new NBA 2K23 game. I'm so jealous. I don't even have this game. I'm still playing what, 21, 22?
Yeah, I'm still on 21.
Yeah, I wish I could win this competition, but we'll give you more info on how you can do that on our social media platforms, and it's definitely something to look out for, so be prepared for that.
Go check out our Instagram, our Twitter, and our TikTok. It's all Afrika BBall. You should be able to find it.
So now let's get back to the playoffs, right? And yeah, this is going to be a really interesting time, the playoff picture.
Yeah.
So as we said, you know, the tie of the round that we are all looking forward to. Battle of the Stars, as I like to call it, as cheesy it is, a battle of the stars, because it is. It really depends on which stars pull up more.
Oh yeah.
Suns against the Clippers. That's all it's about, you know. KD, who's I think has taken over the Suns team now. He's the main man. Booker was, but KD's the main man.
It might be a sample size, but since KD has joined the Phoenix Suns, they were 6-0. Haven't lost a game yet. KD's really looking like it fits in there. It's kind of scary. I mean, having Chris Paul, even though he's aging at 37, he might not be to the best that he was. But, I mean, he's still Chris Paul. And he might choke there and there, but as a player, he's still a good player.
No, I think Chris Paul's impact is going to be crucial, because all of his stats have plummeted since, you know, in the last couple of seasons. I mean, he is 37, which is a brilliant age to still be playing at this level. But there's no one else on the Clippers team who can run the point like Chris Paul. You know, yes, Westbrook there. Tobias Harris is a good, you know, additional player to have, but Chris Paul will always be the best point guard in this series, and that's crucial because your point guard, everything runs through him. So yeah, I think we live in South Africa. We're it's a simple thing. But yeah, definitely, you know, Russ Westbrook, he's doing very well, you know, compared to what he is, but he's still prone to turnovers.
Yeah, exactly. Like
shots.
Westbrook, you know, had a disappointing time with the Lakers, fits in the Clippers a bit more, but now that PG is injured and it's playoff run, they're going to demand more from him, and they're going to need more from him. And when the time in the playoffs needs to slow down, I think that's when Westbrook is going to struggle a bit. So I think comparing the Clippers to the Suns, even though the Clippers have talent, I think the Suns are winning.
Yeah, I think without Paul George, it's a Suns victory. But I do think that also what's going to be crucial in this series is Kawhi versus KD. You know, before Kawhi's injury, he was always known as an elite defender, and with his size, his power, and his athleticism, you know, he's definitely able to mark KD. But I think what would be crazy is to make Kawhi man mark KD, just because of how good and innovative KD is. If Kawhi gets into foul trouble, anything like that,
that's when it's
imagine a Clippers team with no Kawhi, no PG. Then it turns into a formality instead of a contest. So we'll be looking out for that, but definitely. And another interesting game, which I'm looking forward to. You know, out of the old, in with the new, potentially.
It's a parade of Summer City!
Yeah! The crown back on me. the last dance pass. So yeah, it's the Lakers against the Grizzlies, if you don't know. Crazy game, looking forward to it. The last time these guys met was that whole incident with John Moran's dad. Shannon Sharp
was on the court side.
Also, presenter on the show. Beef, so yeah, and you know, he's a meme, but also, you know, a serious guy, Dylan Brooks.
You know, Dylan Brooks is probably one of the most hated NBA players, and I don't even like him. But I can respect what he does, because he can get into people's minds now.
So he said, you know, I wouldn't mind playing LeBron in a 7-game series. The last time he made the playoffs was 2021, so it'd be good to send him right home again.
So
saying this to the GOAT. The cheek and the audacity of this guy, like.
Brooks is a real conthead that tries to get under people's skins. And you know what? I told you I dislike him, but it's kind of
the last time they played, Brooks limited LeBron to 21 points. 8 for 21 shooting or something.
Yeah.
So he is effective to defend as much as we don't like it, but that's what it is.
And I mean, he is playing for a Grizzlies team, and the Grizzlies team finished second in the Western seed. So I mean,
I was gonna say, with the seeding thing, I think what we touched on was how the regular season can sometimes be a setup.
It's a facade. In the regular season,
it doesn't actually matter how good you do in the regular season, because the Kings, right, come third, whatever, they did so well. What's the reward for making the playoffs in the first time in 20 years? The Warriors, the defending champions. That's the reward. The Grizzlies, dominating. He said the West is easy. Just said the West is easy. What's your reward? LeBron and the Lakers.
And now the Lakers are what? Just fully healthy all of a sudden at this point. Suffering through injuries throughout the whole season. LeBron goes out. AD's glass bones get injured there and then. But now they're all back and healthy. They didn't look like they were going to make the playoffs for a second. They managed to clutch up their 7th seed. So,
no, but definitely, I think what's going to be crucial is the depth for the Lakers,
Yeah.
D'Angelo Russell, Vanderbilt, they're back now. Malik Beasley's still there.
Yeah.
So, LeBron finally has, his pawns. The GM. The GM has handcuffed in his blood now. He's happy.
And there's a young baller inside the Lakers now. AR-15.
Yeah, don't forget Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves, AR-15. So, he's a savior there.
So, when AD and LeBron were a bit out right there, and he took initiative, and he actually was averaging one of the best points and efficiencies in the league for the period that he was playing without LeBron, which is scary to think about.
Yeah, LeBron was injured for a while.
Yeah.
And also the matchup of AD and Jared Jackson Jr. was also a nomination for Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
So the Grizzlies really, this young squad really have a lot of elite players at the moment right now. So that's going to be interesting. But I think, the key for Jackson Jr. is to also stay out of foul trouble. He's not going to man-mark AD, but he's going to be a good help defender, as he always is.
And I feel like, with the Kings, the reason why I didn't like the Kings against the Warriors, but I could see the Grizzlies beating the Lakers, is because it's a young team, but they still are a bit experienced right now. I feel like the Kings is the first time in the playoffs in a while, and the team is still very young, so they're a bit inexperienced in the playoffs, which is still why I got the Warriors going there. I didn't want the Lakers to win, as you know, I'm a Lakers fan, but I could see the Grizzlies going through as they experienced.
Yeah. I think AD, this is your time, step up again. Step up, AD. We need you to be fully healthy, fully fit, fully focused.
We need your bubble ring again.
Yeah, get a bubble ring again. I think one more ring and I'll be satisfied. Just more than Curry, that's all I need. So, shifting focus now onto this continent, Unfortunately, it's not basketball season in South Africa, so most of the festivals and tournaments aren't on. But, the Afrika BBall League is on, guys, and it's on ESPN, shows all the time. We need to really be investing in this and focus on this and put our support, like the NBA we do, into this Afrika BBall League.
And this is a league that I'm actually starting to back. We're going into our 3rd season right now. The Sahara Conference has already played. So there's 4 teams right now that have already made the playoffs. And that is Stade Milan, AS Tunis, ABC Fighters, and REG. So that is...
Is that the Nile Conference?
Yeah, so the Sahara Conference has just made it into the Nile. Has just made it into the playoffs. And now we're going to the Nile Conference that starts on April 26th and be there. And, as we're from South Africa right now, Cape Town Tigers.
Go Cape Town Tigers, first South African team to make the Afrika BBall League. They had to go the really grueling qualifying process, so we're really looking forward to seeing them. They'll be on your TV screen. We should tune in, give them all the support. The fixture list will be out soon, so we're looking forward to seeing that.
And that first game of the Cape Town Tigers should be on April 27th. Hope you can catch that.
Great. And also, the FIBA Basketball World Cup is coming on. The draw is soon, and 5 African nations have made it: Angola, Cape Verde, Cote d'Ivoire, Egypt, and South Sudan. So the draw takes place on the 29th of April in the Philippines. So it'll be interesting to see where they get matched up. most of the time the elite teams, Spain, Eastern Europe, Latvia, Lithuania. But it's good to see African teams, and hopefully we kind of get some Southern African teams, some SADC teams involved there.
Yeah, I agree with
I think
you
it's really a lot of talent. I mean, I used to play at this St. John's Festival, and the talent I used to see here from all these different schools. I'll tell you a funny story. There was a school we used to play. No, we never played them. Thank goodness. Dominican. Yeah, it's called Dominican. And they had these two twins, right? Both, I think I was in grade 10 or 11. Two twins. I'm telling you, they were 6'5" or something crazy. These two 6'5" twins. Sorry for that, guys. Technical difficulties. Someone behind the camera, he who will not be named. But it's all good. As I was saying, back to my hilarious story that these two twins.
Yeah.
Wow. These guys, 6'5", huge guys, muscly guys. We're being punked here. These are NBA players. These guys were just throwing it up and hooping to each other, dunking on the rims. That crazy twin telepathy, and the officials had to go there and be like, guys, please relax with the dunking. You might break the rim.
Yeah,
that crazy.
Dude, when I was 13 in grade 8, oh my gosh, dude, we were playing against the school. And I had this 6'6" guy. I'm relatively short, and I was shorter in grade 8. Dude, this guy was dunking with his tiptoes, right? I was scared. I was like, how am I going to play against this? Yo, we got blown out that game as well. It was rough.
That's what I was saying. The talent pool in South Africa, in Southern Africa, is huge, guys. Basketball is huge. So if we just actually knuckle down, provide the fundamentals for everyone, access for everyone, wherever you're from, just provide basic access fundamentals.
Yeah, and I agree with that, because Joel Embiid only played basketball at the age of 15, and he's from Cameroon. Now imagine if we offer basketball facilities for people just around Africa. Do you know the talent that could sprout from here is ridiculous?
Everyone in America starts basketball under 6, under 7, so it really shows the talent.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're excited for that, but guys, those twins still give me trauma. I still can't sleep at night. But guys, I really appreciate you coming to the first edition of the show. Please follow us on all our social media accounts.
Yeah, Afrika BBall. That's all our TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. Links will be in the description if you want to check us out. Please do.
Catch us on YouTube, everything. And we really appreciate you guys being here and on the journey. A great journey we're on, and exciting times up ahead.
Me and Ryan are also grateful for Sprite. Sprite released a new Sprite flavor, Sprite Mints. He already finished his bottle, Sprite Mint and lime.
And as we said, guys, the competition, it's going to be really tough, really tense. So make sure you get ahead. T's and C's we'll tell you about, and follow us on our socials to see how you can win it. But very easy: a controller, an Xbox One, and of course NBA 2K23.
We will announce the winner on our next episode. So make sure you tune in for the next Afrika BBall show episode. Thank you so much, everyone.
Shout out.